using AI to help pierce the social media opinion bubble. I'm Tonya Hall, and joining me is Dr. Noam Slonim, project debater, principal investigator, and distinguished engineer at IBM Research. Welcome back, Noam.
Tanya, thank you for having me.
Remind us what project debater is and give us a brief summary of your background related to it, please.
I did my PhD at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, focusing mainly on developing machine learning techniques. Then I moved to Princeton for a postdoc. And in 2007, I joined IBM Research. And in 2011, I suggested this notion of developing a machine that will be able to debate humans. And this is Project Debater. Project Debater is the first AI system that can participate in a competitive debate with a human in a meaningful manner. And we demonstrated the system for the first time in 2019 in front of a live audience. And it was quite a journey to develop this system.
Your team at IBM Research published a paper demonstrating how Project Debater AI can be used to present counter arguments on social media. Start at the beginning. Explain the general process that most people follow when making important decisions.
So this paper actually has an interesting story behind it, because when we developed Project Debater, there are several aspects in a competitive debate, and perhaps the most important one is the ability to respond to your opponent, what is known as the rebuttal during the debate. And this was undoubtedly the most challenging part of the project. And part of that is, how do you collect data? How do you train an AI system to respond in a competitive debate? So if we make the analogy to, let's say, digital assistants that we are familiar with, that are often powered by quite powerful AI technology, these assistants usually need to respond to a single sentence. And in a competitive debate, the AI need to respond to a whole speech. The opponent is speaking fast with a lot of emotions, raising a lot of complex arguments. We still need somehow to understand the gist of that. And one direction that we took was really to recruit expert human debaters to the team and ask them to record debate speeches. And over the years, we collected thousands of debate speeches that we now release as part of this paper. And we released that with an interesting task that we discuss in the paper. And the task is really, imagine that you are reading an opinion article in your favorite newspaper, and there are probably other opinion articles that present the opposing view to the material that you are reading now. But perhaps there is one article which is really presenting counter arguments to those that you are reading now. And the question is, how can you find this special opposition article that is presenting the counter arguments? And this is the task that we were trying to address in this paper, using this huge collection of thousands of human debate speeches.
To accomplish this, you had to create a first of its kind data set. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the data set is composed of a collection of debate speeches recorded by expert debaters. And this was an interesting process because they never met each other. They were debating with one another without meeting in person. So this was a big operation to somehow divide the motions between them. So imagine that you are a debater and you are part of this project. So now you are asked to record this opening speech. And now this opening to someone else that you never met, and this person is now expected to listen to this opening speech and record a rebuttal speech. And this rebuttal speech may be sent again to a third person who may need to respond to what you just recorded. So in this way, we actually collected around 3,600 debate speeches that hold internal relations between them. So for example, for one opening speech, we have, for the same ocean, we have 5 rebuttal speeches, but only one of them is really rebutting this specific opening speech. And this was the task that we formulated in this paper. Imagine that I show the AI a single opening speech and 5 rebuttal speeches for the same topic, but only one of them is really referring to this opening speech. Can the AI identify which one is really answering to the debate speech we started with?
Let's talk about the net result. Say I post a
Mhm.
tweet declaring the only good milkshake is a strawberry milkshake. You're
Mhm.
saying that Project Debater can reply with substantiated arguments supporting the claim that many people enjoy vanilla and peach flavored shakes too.
So to be fair, Project Debater is more tuned over more classical controversial topics. So what you are describing is a discussion that may emerge between people, and they may find it as a very interesting or less interesting discussion. It depends on them. But this is not a classical debate. This is more like, I would say, a more interactive discussion, where you raise a point through Twitter and someone perhaps responds. In a competitive debate, we usually see these full speeches, a full opening speech and then a full rebuttal speech. Each speech is usually around 600 or 700 words. So I think the analogy is really to opinion articles in the newspaper, which I mentioned earlier. So you have this opinion article and you have somewhere another opinion article that you would like to read because it may put some light on your blind spots. And the question is, how do you find this particular article?
So then what are some of the more serious and valuable applications for this technology?
So there are many potential applications of debater technology. We are now discussing one paper out of, I would say, nearly 50 that we published over the years since we started this project. And it is really, the reason we have so many applications that we are considering is because this is touching on something which we think is quite fundamental to our daily life and to our professional life. Most of the questions that you encounter through your life actually do not have a simple answer, do not have a simple factual answer. Rather, what they have are pros and cons that need to be carefully considered. And this is exactly the technology that we are developing. Given that you need to take a decision, can you use AI in order to automatically find the most relevant pros and cons and take a better informed decision? And this is, of course, relevant to decision being made in corporates or decisions being made in your personal life and so on.
How does this break the bubble, if you will, that many social media discussions occur in?
This is a very good question, and this is a real problem and a real issue. And I don't think that we provide a complete solution to that. I think that we are making a step in that direction, and it is really about showing, I think, an effective technology that can really help you go out of this bubble. Not just continue to read the opinion articles that you like because they support your own opinion, but actually be able to pinpoint a specific article presenting the opposite direction and then read that and perhaps learn from that about the other side.
Dr. Noam Slonim, project debater, principal investigator, and distinguished engineer at IBM Research. If somebody wants to connect with you, maybe they want to find out more about your work or this paper, how can they do that?
So one option is really to go to the Project Debater webpage. And the other option is to connect with me through Twitter at Noam Slonim.
Thanks again for joining us. And if
Sure,
somebody
Tanya, my pleasure.
You're welcome back anytime. And find more of my interviews right here or at tonyahall.net. Thanks for watching.